Dale, how are you? Good afternoon.
I'm doing great, Anton. How about you?
Good, good. And I'm so excited to have you in this awesome live conversation. And we're talking about Action Against Hunger. Welcome to those people watching on the live stream. We're talking to Dale Nelson Divinagracia about Action Against Hunger and the premiere of The Invisible Monster today. So if you want to join our discussion, please feel free to hop in. If you're watching on the replay, please do watch and see how can you help Action Against Hunger this year. My name is Antonius, founder of our awesome planet, and we're talking about the invisible monster with Action Against Hunger. All right, thank you. And we're here talking to thank you for right, Dale. So maybe you can share with them ano ba yung Action Against Hunger and maybe what's the latest update with Action Against Hunger.
All right. Well, Action Against Hunger is an international humanitarian organization, and we've been fighting the causes and effects of hunger for 40 years now. We work in areas where people are forced to leave their homes because of disasters like typhoons, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, as well as war and conflict. So we provide people who need it the most with food, hygiene kits, sanitation facilities, livelihood training, and temporary shelter. And we have been doing it here in the Philippines for the past 20 years now.
Okay. So what's the latest update? I'll share this.
All right, yeah. So, yes, this is our latest COVID-19 response flash update. And as you can see there, we're since the pandemic started last March with all the lockdowns, we have reached a total number of beneficiaries, almost 50,000 for our food security and livelihood activities. For our health sector assistance, we've reached 155,000 people. And lastly, but not least, beneficiaries of our water, sanitation, and hygiene assistance, a total of around 350,000 as of this November. And we've responded to three major calamities, emergencies here for 2020. The first one, and it seems like such a long time ago, the Taal volcano eruption. It seems like a lifetime ago. Just looking back with what's been happening this 2020. So we responded to that last January, as well as, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic, and most recently, the communities and people who were affected by Typhoon Rolly, specifically in Catanduanes.
So anong ginagawa nyo? You go to the community and set up water, food. What exactly does Action Against Hunger do?
Well, it depends on per project, but the things that we really do as of the moment, a lot of, is really giving people hygiene kits and repairing sanitation facilities. Just for example, just the most recent example in Typhoon Rolly, well, during a calamity, if you've lost your house because of it was destroyed by the typhoon, you have nothing but the clothes on your back that you have of it. And what may seem like things that we take for granted, the araw-araw na meron tayo, like clean water, it's not a given to people who are displaced because of a typhoon. They don't know where the clean water is, especially if they're living in the evacuation camp. So let's say in evacuation camp, what we do initially is that we assess if there's clean water, there's a clean water source. And if there's no clean water source, what we do is we put up water tanks and fill it up with the clean water, even if we have to do water trucking on a daily basis. And this clean water, they can use it for, of course, drinking, food, cleaning food, and other household things that they need to use it with. So that's what we do. Also, things that we take for granted again, like pails, buckets, uh, soap. We give them hygiene kits to the people. Most especially these days, that it's very, very important that they keep themselves hygienic and sanitary
Okay.
to,
Now,
to stop the spread of diseases.
all right. And I think one of the things na was quite interesting is your itong the Invisible Monster. It's premiering tonight, and
Yes.
the Philippine premiere. Maybe you can talk to us. How is this related with your advocacy, and what is the movie all about? I'll share it also for people to see the website.
Well, all right. Well, the movie, it's a wonderful film, really about the fighting spirit of the Filipino spirit of overcoming poverty, loss, war, hunger, and still having that hope and happiness even through all of that of all of those challenges. It stars two children, Aminuddin, who lives and works in a landfill, and Aliman, who lives in an evacuation camp. The narration is, well, through the eyes of these two boys. We see that happiness and hunger cannot always be seen by the naked eye. And again, it's a wonderful film, and these children, these all of the actors that you see here are not professional actors. They're actually real people who live in the evacuation camp, who live in the dump site. They are actually our part of the people of that we serve. So this is really a showcase of of the struggles of those people living in that situation.
And who are the directors?
Oh, the directors. One of the director is Javier Feser. He's an Oscar-nominated director who has also won loads of Goya.
Mhm.
It's like the Spanish equivalent of the Oscars. He's also, as I mentioned, he's an Oscar-nominated director. While Guillermo is a famous radio personality in Spain. So these directors, they have, especially Javier, he has this great skill in getting performances to people who've never acted before. So
Ah,
again, I mentioned the main actors in the film are Action Against Hunger beneficiaries. While the film itself is fiction, it
mhm.
is based on the real lives and challenges of the people acting in it.
Yeah. And why should people watch this movie, or any tips on how to watch it?
Well, not much as tips. So don't view it as a documentary, as I
Oh,
would
so
say.
hindi. Okay, it's not a
No,
documentary. Okay.
no, it's not a documentary because it is a work of fiction. The story itself is fiction, and let me try to quote what Guillermo, the scriptwriter and one of the directors, said. Is that he quotes that in the world there are two types of stories: those that impress and those that move you. The
Mm-hmm.
invisible monster wants to move you so that it may remain in your memory. So, if it's a documentary, and I think this has happened to you as well, I thought, Anton, it's happened to me. If it's a documentary, you see it, it can be can bring you sadness at that very moment because you know that this is happening to the lives of people. But it's somehow the retention of that real life is a bit fleeting.
Mm-hmm.
While on the other hand, if it's like storytelling, if it's a work of fiction, like we have this all humanity has this uh, stories that has been passed down from people for centuries. It's not necessarily true. These are legends. These are myths. This type of storytelling, I mean, remains with people. So that's what we want to do. That even if you forget something about the film, forget about the characters, but we want you to retain that that feeling that you had when you watch piece of art, this movie, and it's just a short movie, just 32 minutes of your time. We hope that that it will retain with you the messages that it wants to impart.
Okay, now question: can you watch it with your kids, or do you have to prepare them for this, or ano ba?
No, I don't think you need to prepare the. Well, I watched it with my for the first time with my 8-year old and my 4-year old about
Mhm.
1 week ago, and the 4-year old could not comprehend, right? Really, but we were trying to explain to my 8-year old uh, that some people, they live in dump sites. That
Mhm.
people as young as you are and younger, they are working already and they're not going to school. So we have to, we try to impart on her. And my daughter, I brought her to several uh, of our projects actually. I
Mhm.
brought her to Taal when we were doing our hygiene promotion and hygiene kit distribution last January. She's seen it, but with kids sometimes they forget. But so we wanted to impart to her how important it is to take care of other people who are less fortunate than you, and maybe just that, because sometimes it's a shock for her. I do remember it was a shock initially for her that when she went to Taal in one of the evacuation camps, that she said, so people are living in these cramped spaces
Mhm.
that so yeah, I told you, yes, they are living in these areas because their homes were destroyed, or they were forced to abandon their homes because it was dangerous in that area. They might, volcanic ash or lava might spew from Taal.
Mhm.
So it maybe just for the parents of the of children, they can just give a heads up on how people are less fortunate and than them, and that these things really happen.
Okay. Now, having been working tirelessly for Action Against Hunger, and you've seen 2020 and all the disasters, etc., what are your insights in terms of how people are coping up and how people can continue to help, as we end 2020?
Well, you know, it's been hard. I mean, I don't. I think the 2020 has been an unprecedented year for a lot of people. It's been especially tough for me, for you, for everyone. But I would like to ask people to look at it by perspective that it's been doubly hard for a lot more people. And these are the vulnerable people that Action Against Hunger serves. Our experience allows us to help these vulnerable communities, uh, but we cannot do it alone. With everyone's help, we can provide more hygiene kits, more PPEs, more hand washing and sanitation facilities, and we can scale up risk awareness of COVID-19, of against diseases in a lot of communities. I mean, only through collective action can we surmount any challenge. And together we can face any challenge that 2020, the remaining half quarter of 2020 will give us, and the rest of 2021.
Oh.
I
And
also go ahead.
sige, go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah. Well, you know, I would like to point out. I would like to share as well that the film, The Invisible Monster, actually have the personal connection to this film because I joined the film crew for a couple of
Ah,
days actually. Yes, when they were shooting it in various parts in Marawi last February 2019, sorry. And I actually met the actors in the film. And these people they're just the same as us. They have they have hopes and dreams, and you can see that sometimes it's not just about that hunger is not just a food problem. It's
mhm.
also a problem about poverty. It's also about a problem about giving proper hygiene and sanitation, giving people the proper tools to get out of this cycle. by giving them livelihood options, teaching them the
Mm-hmm.
proper way of breastfeeding, for example, on how to proper way to feed their children, good nutrition with what they have in that area. Sa mga gilid with the abundant vegetables that they have surrounding them. So it's a multifaceted problem. It's not just a food problem.
Mm, okay. And how's the situation with COVID-19 with your relief efforts? Hindi ba nagkaka-outbreak dun sa communities? And how serious are the situation?
Most of our in the communities where we work in evacuation camps, IDP, internally displaced people, thankfully there's no outbreak, a big outbreak that occurred in where we work in as of the moment. So we're really grateful about that. Although some of our uh, field staff, just a few, have actually contacted the deceased because they're always on the field. But we're really grateful actually that in the areas where we work in, there's not a big outbreak.
Okay. And I know you're going to Catanduanes tomorrow. Maybe can you share us the story of how that province was really impacted by typhoon and what else is needed?
Well, I mean, um, Catanduanes is not, they're not having like a big typhoon hit Catanduanes is not something new for the residents. It's something that they're quite resilient. But I mean, what happened in Typhoon Rolly was really damaging. And right now we're really trying to go to the areas that are, because 90% of just in of Iraq, 90% of the structures that were really affected by the typhoon. So imagine that's the capital. So looking at, I don't have exact figures for you right now. Actually, it's in the report that
Mhm.
our logistics has made there in that area. But the main needs of the people there are right now are, again, hygiene kits.
Mhm.
We have to repair the sanitation facilities that the people have there, because the water source, a lot of it was damaged during the typhoon. And yung, these are yung mga deep well. And deep well by itself is okay. The water is clean under there, but what's going out of the deep well is dirty because the pipes have been broken and sometimes it's not properly maintained. So we go where what we're doing there right now is repairing those the water system. And actually today, they are actually distributing hygiene kits. We are looking into giving them as well cash for food, because sometimes it, uh, you give food packs and it's not something that, because of the logistics of giving actual food packs, can be sometimes really hard. What we do is we tie up with the local groceries in the area, and then we give them like a coupon. So that's what
Mhm.
we're planning, to give them a coupon, and then they can only buy food products with this coupon in order to help them.
Okay. Good. By the way, I'm showing this photo. This is the water station you're doing, ba?
Yes, I'm really proud of this water station that we have. It's a touch-free water station. You just step on the pedal, and then
Ah,
water will come out, and then you don't actually touch any part except for your foot, but you don't touch it with
oo.
your hands. The touch-free water station that we have. It was developed by one of our engineers in one of our projects in Cotabato.
Ano yan? Drinking water? No?
This one is specifically for washing.
For washing. So,
Yes.
for washing. Okay.
We've
And
installed a lot of these touch-free water stations all around in the areas where we work in Marawi, Lanao del Sur, Cotabato, Kidapawan. also as well as in Surigao and Agusan del Sur and Davao del Norte. So there's, I don't have the exact number, but it's more than 100 hand washing stations have been installed in areas where people need it the most, like
Mhm.
evacuation camps again. We actually put it in barangay health centers.
Mhm.
Uh, so because there's a lot barangay health centers, we install them there. We also put it in let's say the LGU, the DRR office of a specific of several LGUs. So this is just a way for people to encourage, because it's just not a matter of. By the way, it's not just a matter of giving the facilities
Oo.
to the community. One thing that we really emphasize is that it's not just giving the materials, the hygiene kits, the facilities. We have to make sure that people that we serve know the importance of proper hygiene and sanitation. That's why we have sessions on this before we actually give the hygiene kits. We have sessions to make them understand the proper way of washing hands, how to handle food, proper handling of food, so that they instill to them the importance of proper hygiene and sanitation uh, uh, proper hygiene and sanitation.
Mhm.
So that's really what we really emphasize when we do project. We don't just give the materials; we
Mhm.
instill to the people. And
So,
actually, in the past 3 months, we've noticed, because it's been 9 months since the pandemic started.
oo.
We Some people are getting complacent. I mean, it's a natural human thing to get complacent, but the COVID cases are still rising in our country. What we're also doing is to we also replenish the hygiene kits that we have that we gave the families. We replenish them again constantly, and we do now house to house, one-on-one hygiene promotion, of course following proper COVID protocols.
Mhm.
uh, but we do, we go house to house with our volunteers in the community to make sure that people don't grow complacent in washing their hands and following the COVID-19 protocols on hygiene and sanitation.
So how
So
can
how can
people help out with Action Against Hunger?
All right, so they can go to our website, actionagainsthunger.ph, and they can see the work that we do there. If they would like to know more about the work we've been doing in the Philippines in the past 20 years, you can see it there. There's a lot of Action Against Hunger websites because we're an international organization. So make sure that you type in actionagainsthunger.ph, or just search Action Against Hunger Philippines. So
Philippines, hindi yung .org, no?
yes,
Philippines.
hindi yung .org. That is our US website, and also one the if you search it in Google, that was the first one that will pop out. I mean,
Mhm.
it's okay. You can also visit that site and then check out our project on a more international scale. They can see the project that we have in Africa and in the Middle East. But on what I'm really here in the Philippines, if you would like to know more about the work that Action Against Hunger does in the Philippines, go to the Philippine website, again, actionagainsthunger.ph. And I would humbly ask everyone to consider donating for our projects here in the Philippines.
Okay.
Again, I know it's been tough. 2020 has been tough for everyone, but it has been doubly hard for the people that we serve. We need your help. We need everyone's help so we can provide more hygiene kits, more PPEs, more hand washing and sanitation facilities, and to scale up the risk awareness of COVID-19 to local communities. So they can go there. You can donate through credit card, GCash, GrabPay, PayPal.
How much
Uh,
usually ba ang typical donation?
Well, it's really, I can't give you an amount of a typical donation. It really, we don't want to compel people to give a specific amount, but what I would like to emphasize that every peso that that anyone donates to, everybody donates, really counts in the work that we do here. So there are suggested amounts when you click on the links, but again, every peso helps us in helping the people who really need it the most.
Okay. And so it's better to do cash, no? You don't accept kind, correct? Just cash
That,
donations.
that's correct. Unfortunately, because in terms of logistics, giving if you'd like to donate certain products, for
Uh,
example, it
or
would
hygiene
be
kit. Yan.
or a hygiene kit, it would be actually more expensive if you give us and then we ship it out compared to if we buy it. Because the hygiene kits, more often than not, we do have pre-allocated hygiene kits in our warehouse here that we have that's ready for deployment. But let's say, for example, when we go to an area and we see what are the actual needs of the people there, we actually buy it locally. So it's better, and we know, for example, food. We know that it's gonna be fresh if we buy it locally, and so it's while I do understand that people would like to give in kind, right now it's better if you donate through the website, because it's sometimes the logistics of sending donated donations in kind is actually going to cost, it's going to be more expensive.
Okay. And maybe last, just to wrap up our discussion, how are you coping up with all these things? I think for you guys working in the NGO or helping other people, hindi ba mas mahirap your work? You're able to see them up close and personal, and you will go to Catanduanes. How are you coping up with all this madness of 2020?
Oh, uh, well, that's a great question. In terms of coping, personally, I always view myself as very, very, very lucky whenever I go to the projects that we have and see, the the tragedy, or the how people how 2020 F20 has affected people. It does get sometimes a bit overwhelming. Truthfully, to be honest, it does get overwhelming, and that you just sometimes you just want to just to to help them the most that you can on a personal level. But quite truthfully, the way I cope with is that I consider, I just look to my wife, to my family, and then just see that how lucky I am right now to have work, considering that I see a lot of close friends have lost their work. And even though we're in the front line, and then the field staff, the field staff are in the front line, and when we do get to visit when I do get to visit those areas, I see the risks that I mean the field staff are doing, because of just going out of their houses and going out to the communities. And I just have a tremendous admiration to our field staff and to any frontliner who continue to do the work even with all of that risk. And we've actually asked that we did a feature on that on a couple of the field staff that we have, and it's in our Facebook page. The most recent one was with Marvin Ramos, who's
Mhm.
a wash engineer in our project in Llano del Sur. Uh, that I can quote you what his answer was, because it gives him tremendous feeling of accomplishment to be able to help other people. So, and that is all across the board. Most actually, that's the real reason a lot of humanitarian workers, NGO workers, are in this field, because they really want they really want to help the people who are not as lucky as they are, and it gives them tremendous satisfaction, even with all the risks involved, that they are there to just to be able to help.
Okay, galing, galing. So maybe to close, can you invite them to watch? How can they watch the movie? I think that's the
Yes,
impossible, the
if
invisible
Invisible
monster.
Monster.
How can they watch the invisible monster
Yes,
and
well,
invite them to
the
watch it? Yeah.
Invisible Monster. Yes. Everyone, please go to Action Against Hunger PH. You can see there the Invisible Monster. It's the online premiere. It's happening later tonight at 12:01 at the stroke of midnight of November 27. That's Friday. That's tonight. Later tonight at midnight, and it will be on our YouTube channel. You can find the link in the in our in actionagainsthunger.ph to our YouTube channel, because it's a bit long trying to say it, but go to our website actionagainsthunger.ph, click on our YouTube channel, and you will be able to watch the movie later tonight. Remember, it's free. The online premiere is free. We encourage you to register so you can receive updates on our projects, our current projects, and our future projects. And I would encourage everyone to please, while you're watching the film, even before, after, do go and donate to help us with our projects here in the Philippines.
All right. Thank you, Dale. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm so inspired by the things that you do. I've known you for a while. And ang galing, you're still motivated, passionate about what you do. And we'll always here to support you guys with your project. And ang ganda nung tama-tama yung movie. We'll watch it with our family. And I do hope a lot of families, Filipino families, can watch it also. And then while watching, donate to Action Against Hunger. All right. Thank you, Dale.
All right. Thank you for
All
your
right.
constant support. For your constant
Yes.
support through the years to Action Against Hunger Philippines.
All right. Thank you so much. And please, if you're watching on the replay, please share this to all the Filipino families. And it goes live in the YouTube channel tonight. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anton. Bye
All
bye.
right.